Hello, everyone, and today's topic that we are going to discuss is good faith exams. I sat in on a little webinar yesterday with a company that offers good faith exams. So I thought, what a better time to talk about it. So we'll start kind of broad. What is a good faith exam? So it's called various things: initial client consult, initial meeting, a good faith exam. It is the meeting, and if you're in the medical profession, you already know this, and please excuse the television in the background, but if you're in the medical profession, you already know this. It is the meeting that establishes that physician-patient relationship. Prior to that, it's a situation where a patient, the patient's exact medical history and their needs is not aligned with or not connected to the physician and their medical judgment. When you connect those two things together, you create the physician-patient relationship, which of course is needed for the practice of medicine. So who can do a good faith exam? I'm going to use a little bit of an example from law school. We use this in property law all the time. So it's this analogy of the bundle of sticks. And I'll use this little red pencil as this is the practice of medicine. So you have these straws that I took from the coffee shop. These straws and this red pins symbolizing the practice of medicine. So a physician licensed and in good standing in the state in which she or he practices can delegate, based on the laws of the state, various levels of these bundle of rights for their practice. In most states, the one thing that they cannot delegate is the practice of medicine. What's the exception to that? Full practice states for APRNs and physician's assistants. If you're not in a full practice state, that cannot be, the practice of medicine cannot be delegated. So what can a physician delegate? They can delegate intaking of patients, obviously, because we have things like people who work in administrative roles. They can delegate actual injections. They can delegate good faith exams. And there's different laws in every state of what level of license can a physician delegate to this. So good faith exam. In all 50 states, a good faith exam cannot be delegated to a registered nurse. So if you have a registered nurse who wants to take on a patient, they want to assess their medical history, they want to assess their face for Botox injections, and they themselves have been injecting for 50 years, and they want to tell the patient whether or not they are a good candidate for Botox, and they are a registered nurse only. Cannot do it in all 50 states. In most states, an APRN, advanced practice registered nurse, and physician's assistant can they do have the ability to have a good faith exam delegated to them. So again, physician has all these bundle of rights. They keep, for the most part, the practice of medicine. What they do is delegate all of these various things to different levels of licenses. So for good faith exams, we're talking about advanced practice registered nurse, of course, other physicians, and physician's assistant. So that is one part of a delegation of a good faith exam. Who can a physician delegate to? The next part is who does a physician delegate to? So a physician can delegate. When they delegate, they say, I'm not an advanced practice registered nurse. Obviously, you all know I'm an attorney, but if I was, for this example one, they say Courtney Walker can do good faith exams on this patient population for this purpose, the practice of aesthetic medicine. So in that contract, which was what I draft all the time, in that contract, would I be able to do good faith exams for heart issues? No, because I've been delegated the authority from a physician to do good faith exams for the purpose of aesthetic medicine. So then how does that play into a collaborating physician's duty? So then a collaborating physician in states that aren't full practice states after they've delegated, they've created the policies and procedures and protocols for each level of delegation, what they do in each state. There's various requirements for the physician to then go back and check. So in Tennessee, for example, the physician has to review a certain amount of charts, random sampling of charts of the APRN who receive delegation per month. And that is how we keep all the checks and balances of a physician delegating their various things that a physician can do to certain levels of practice providers. So that's part one of what a good faith exam is. What does it do? It establishes a doctor-patient relationship. Who can delegate it? A physician can delegate a good faith exam, who they can delegate it to. And one of the most important pieces is that the actual physician has to delegate to an actual person for an actual purpose. The delegation is not broad, and it should be very limited in a contract to ultimately protect everyone's license. So the next thing that we are going to talk about in our next video, so stay tuned, is what are the various ways that you can do a good faith exam, and which was always very state specific, always, but there are three main ways that a good faith exam can be conducted. And I'll also discuss in that video how long is a good faith exam for, how often do they need to be, how often does a patient have to have one. So stay tuned.